Stepping into the ring now on this Wednesday edition of the SportsMax Zone as we discuss mixed martial arts right here in Jamaica. The 8th staging of the Rough Fight League Ocho is set to take place in Hope Gardens, Kingston this Saturday. That's October 26th for an action-packed evening of combat sports. The RFL, which was created to develop mixed martial arts and kickboxing across the Caribbean, has hosted 7 events featuring fighters from Trinidad and Tobago, Canada, the United States, and Jamaica. Well, some of the most notable products of the RFL are former Jamaican fighter, the mighty Kyle Chin, who became the first pro champion from the league and is now the managing partner of RFL, following his retirement in 2022. And one of the headliners for Saturday's card, Shaheen the Great Blake, who makes his professional debut. So we're so pleased to have both Kyle and Shaheen on our SportsMax studios. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having us.
All right, so Kyle, I'm going to start with you because you're no stranger to the SportsMax Zone. Tell me everything about this event on Saturday. First of all, I have to ask you about the change in venue, Hope Gardens. How come?
Well, you know, Ocho Rios was our first destination. We're going to be at Island Village. And then we kind of noticed that a lot of our execution was coming from town. So it made a lot more sense to just be in town. So, you know, we found an amazing, we really lucked out with Hope Gardens. So Funland at Hope Gardens is an amazing venue. We have lots of space. So it's really going to be very comfortable for our patrons. And we're really excited about that.
Yeah, what are some of the things the patrons can look forward to? I know the fight card, it looks very enticing. What are we in store for?
Well, if you're in VIP, you're getting food inclusive. There's also going to be food and drink on sale, of course. Yeah. There are going to be a couple sponsors coming through to give away some free sampling. Mark Chung, in the general, is going to be giving away some free sampling. We never want to tell people too much about it, but there's going to be some nice giveaways. Yeah. You know, Vape Shop is going to be there. There's going to be, of course, there's going to be a little bit of exciting games on the way into the venue. We're setting up a punching bag so people can come and take the pictures and do some fun stuff with the punching bag. Boom, we'll be giving away stuff. We'll have giveaways on the night. You know, a couple giveaways throughout the night, sponsored by Choco Foundation. Yeah. So it's really just a holistic night of excitement and fun.
Yeah, so Shaheen the Great Blake.
Yes, ma'am.
My first question is the Great. Explain that for me. Is that your stage name?
That's my stage name, but that came by at Wilmer's with just like a group of
You went to Wilmer's?
I went to Wilmer's.
He went to Wilmer's.
Bam, so did I.
He went to Wilmer's. I
get caught again.
Yeah, so it's just a group of friends. We're all in class, and the whole thing was DJing, which is the Great Nation. You know, They say that we're a gang in school or whatever. So I just manifested that into Shaheen the Great because everybody was their first name, and you add the Great to it. So I just kept it, Shaheen the Great, and that's been the stage name moving on ever since.
So Saturday you have a big fight. I'm sure you have a lot of supporters Yeah, a lot of supporters coming out to watch you. How are preparations coming along?
It's been pretty good. This is one of the camps with the least amount of like injuries and worries I've ever had. My strength has been good, my condition has been
Thank
good.
God.
It's been eerily good because usually there's some bumps and hiccups when you're preparing, but this time everything just went smooth and I might surprise myself on Saturday, to be honest.
I know physical preparation is very important for a fight, right? But I always wonder, like, what's going on in the mind of the fighters? How has your mental preparation been? And what happens on the day? Like, do you think a lot about what's going to happen?
For each fighter, it's different. So some might psych themselves out. Me more so, it's more of an ego thing, to be honest, being realistic. I will not allow any other man to have his way and push me around. So I will always meet force with force. So for me, that's where my mentality comes from. I'm pushing through you, I'm going through you. On the fight, they are treated like any other day. I mean, all my days are filled with fights. Every interaction I have feels like a fight to me, per se. So it's just any other day for me. He's just another opponent that will be looking up at me from the canvas.
Wow, a lot of confidence there. Kyle, I remember my first RFL attendance. It was
we all do. But go ahead.
Please don't remind me yours. It was in 2019 I attended, and what I loved about it most is the vibe, right? Because it was so much fun. It was like a party with fighting, and then you spoke about Boom, and there are the Boom girls and all these different things. Talk to me about the growth of this event from inception, not just when I attended, of course, to now looking at all the work that has gone into it. Are you pleased?
I am, and I'm really looking forward to Saturday and seeing how much we grow and showing people how much we've grown. And like you said, what we aspire to is creating an atmosphere where you're laughing, you're cheering, you're having food, you're having drinks, and it's just non-stop fun and enjoyment. So everybody is just looking forward to the next one. When can we? And if you haven't experienced mixed martial arts live before, this is the way to do it. This is how you want to experience it. You're right by the cage, right? You can hear the hits, so to speak, and it's a lot of enthusiasm that comes from the crowd. And of course, like I said, the boom girls are there. There's dancing, there's crowd involvement. They get involved. Our host is going to be Dufton Shepherd, so you don't know, Dufton is always full of jokes. So it's always going to be a good time.
Yeah, Kyle. Well, Mara touched on it just now when she asked about the growth of the event. But let's talk as well about the growth of the sport, because I know it's big in Trinidad and Tobago as well. I know USA and Canada have a lot of fighters as well. How satisfied are you that mixed martial arts globally is making the kind of gains and the sort of traction that you had envisaged?
Oh, well, yeah, absolutely. I'm very satisfied because we see how, even in pop culture, we see how much it has overtaken the way that fights are choreographed. You don't see a scene with people hitting a punching bag in boxing gloves anymore.
Yes.
They're all wearing MMA gloves.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So, and then to watch how it's influenced our athletes, and because we're such a hub for talent. We have the athletic talent, we have the natural proclivity to catch on to physical movement very well, and it's a very intellectual sport as well, which a lot of people might not recognize, but because it involves so many other arts, you're forced to think in this chess match about how you can possibly win, right? So I see it growing a lot. I see that now that what RFL is trying to do is provide a place for it to grow. Once we see that there's somewhere we can compete, then people have something to train to look forward to. When I was doing my amateurs, I had to fly out if I wanted to compete. Now you can stay at home, you can rack up a record, you can get some experience, and then go out into the world. Shine has plans to move out to bigger things after this and that, and that's what we're hoping for.
Yeah.
That's what we're pushing for.
Yeah, I'm going to ask Shine a little bit more about his debut fight, well, his pro debut fight coming up this weekend. But one more for you, because I see where the Jamaican Jason Jackson is ranked number 11 in the world in the welterweight division, which should be an inspirational development for Caribbean fighters.
It's funny you bring up Jason Jackson because he was telling me that he might be here for the fights.
Yes.
His birthday is the following week, so he's like, I'm not sure yet.
Yeah.
But Jason was Bellator champion, which is massive. Bellator is one of the big organizations outside of the UFC. And we have guys. We have Randy Brown in as welterweight UFC. We have, of course, Aljamain and so on. So we have Jamaican-born guys who are there. But what we want to see is Jamaican-trained guys, grown and schooled here, who can make that transition.
Like Shine.
Like Shine.
Yeah. All right, Shine, let me get to you now, because I'm a boxing man. I grew up loving boxing as one of my favorite sports. And I realize that mixed martial arts now is massive, and in many instances has overtaken boxing as a sport in many people's eyes. But your pro debut comes up this weekend. What was your amateur campaign like?
For the amateurs, over the past 3 years, I've been ranked number 1 in the Caribbean, to the point where it's hard to get people that want to fight me, because fighting me might be a blow to their record. After training with some of those same guys from the UFC, like Randy Brown, Aljamain, they've all said that, okay, we've seen the skills you have, no more amateur fights. You're beyond that now. It's time for you to go pro and make the right moves to get to where you want to get to.
And how much did your amateur campaign prepare you for the grueling world of pro fighting?
So in the amateur world, you have guys who are doing it part-time, or some guys that maybe want to go full-time. So you got a good mix of people who are about that life, about the fighting and preparation, and some people who just was there just because. So in experiencing that, I've now gotten to compete here in Jamaica, across other islands in the Caribbean. I've gotten great chances to compete against a wide variety of people, and that's been good for me, to be honest. Having that spice.
I know that in boxing, amateur boxing has different rules from pro boxing. Is there a difference between amateur mixed martial arts and now pros for you?
Well, there's three main differences.
Yes.
The time period is now 5 minutes per round as opposed to 3 minutes per round.
5 minutes per round?
5 minutes.
Yeah,
Simple
that's pretty long. How many rounds?
This fight will be 3 rounds.
3 rounds.
Championship fights are usually 5-minute rounds in the pro scene.
Yes.
I can now throw knees and elbows to the head. Apart from that, all the rules stay the same.
Yeah. So in amateurs, no knees and elbows
No
to
knees
the
and
head.
elbows to the head. To the body is fine, but
Yeah.
none to the head.
So what about your opponent coming up on your pro debut? How much do you know about him, and how confident are you that you'll win?
I think his epitaph is what? The Avatar or something like that. He's a pro boxer.
Darren, Avatar.
Avatar.
Yeah.
Where?
Well,
Or something you said.
I mean, let's see what
very
happens when the
rude.
Fire Nation attacks. You know, let's see what happens then.
But your name is the Great.
Yes.
So, we anticipate that will say a lot on Saturday.
I hope you can pronounce my name properly because the last opponent that was here made a very big error in not pronouncing my name, not saying my name. Let's hope this guy doesn't
Yeah.
share the same
So
fate.
how did he pronounce your name?
He didn't. He said he forgot it. So
he forgot it?
I gave him something to remember.
Oh my goodness. Well, Kyle, you're amused. Is it the same in mixed martial arts where the fighters throw a lot of words
God.
at each other before
Definitely.
fight time? Because
Definitely. It wasn't my style, but him, he loves that.
yeah.
But
Why wasn't it your style?
I don't know. I wasn't big on doing the mouthing and stuff. I was just all about
the humble
let me
and
get
the
in there
zen and the
and fight.
okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But
I was fortunate too. I think I didn't have any opponents who did it.
Yes. So you didn't have to retaliate.
So I didn't have to retaliate.
Okay.
Exactly.
But having said that, though, it's a big part of what attracts people to the
yeah.
sport because you
I
know
love
that.
it.
Yeah. The more boxers talk up a fight and disrespect their opponent, is the more people get glued into what to anticipate.
And it's not just about like disrespect. It's like sometimes you need that connection to the fighters. They need to show their persona, their personality. So if you're doing it just for doing its sake, I say don't do it. But if that's who you actually are,
Yes.
then do it. Just like how Kyle said, he was more zen, chill,
Yes.
humble, and more respect. That's him. He was being true to himself. I talk more. I'm more braggadocious. Will still show respect. I will not cross certain boundaries. I have my lines, but that's my persona as well.
Yes.
So it's about expressing yourself truthfully, which is what martial arts is about.
Yeah. You just spoke of boxing or fighting in other Caribbean islands. Which other Caribbean islands have you
I've been
performed
to
in?
Barbados, I've been to Trinidad, I've been in South America and Mexico and those places as well.
Undefeated?
No, I'm not undefeated. So my current record is 7-2
Yes.
in the amateur league. The 2 fights I've ever lost were, the first one was ranked, that guy was ranked number 1 in the Caribbean at that time, and the other guy is ranked number 1 in South America.
Yeah.
Well, the Caribbean number 1 was who?
That was Omar Smith from Trinidad.
From Trinidad. Yeah. And as we spoke earlier on, Kyle, I know that mixed martial arts is big in TNT. Some of these cards or the mixed martial arts fight cards have had some major happenings in TNT.
And I mean, so they've been doing it a lot longer.
Yes.
RFL started in 2018. This is our 8th event, but we started in 2018. My first competition was in Trinidad, and I was at CUF, and that was 2013, I think.
Yeah.
So
At that time, Jamaica hadn't started.
we had we had done a couple smaller events,
Yes.
but they were never able to be consistent. So this is the first league that has maintained consistency and that has grown to the size that we are too. So I mean, we're gonna catch up.
Yeah.
And we've already surpassed them in terms of skill. The last one
Yes.
was Trinidad versus Jamaica, and we schooled them. Every fight went to a
Careful,
finish.
because Mariah might
And you're
feel
sitting
offended.
very close to me.
Yeah.
I can give you some MMA moves.
So is Mariah invited to this next?
Oh,
I'm
absolutely.
always invited.
Absolutely.
Because she was one of the hits.
Yeah,
of-
man. She got me back on the stage.
dancing or fighting?
No, man. I think, what is she prepared to do is the question. Last time she was dancing.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's going to put on some gloves this time.
Yeah. The last time you were on the SportsMax Zone, Kyle,
Yeah.
you had not yet retired.
No,
but
last
you
time I
had-
was retired. Yeah,
you
yeah.
had been retired?
Yeah.
Freshly retired.
Freshly retired.
Okay, I was, because
And I
it's
had
about your
asked him
third
if he
time
would
on the
come
show.
out of retirement. I remember asking him that.
He was coming out of retirement, but he didn't.
No, I haven't. I've stayed quiet. I've stayed doing the other side of things, which is pushing the sport.
Maybe he's afraid of Shine and didn't want to face
And
it.
then
Shine
the
too
chats-
small for me. Shine is,
No, but not even
Shine's
that.
just-
The chats might scare you away.
no, sir. I don't get
I mean,
scared of the
age
chat. I'm
is
just not
age
doing
is a
it.
big factor in fighting, and I believe Kyle has passed certain thresholds.
Shine, tell them what happens when we spar, Shine.
when we spar off the whole back because he has his wife to go home to, we can have him injured and, in bed.
I get the impression Kyle has a different story.
I have the videos. It's all right.
You have the video
Yeah.
when you're sparring.
Yeah, man.
And it's not what Shine just said.
Hey, I'll let him. He's the champ,
Make sure it's
Let
not
him go.
edited.
Wait, but before
He's
they
the champ.
leave us, Lance, we
Yeah.
have to tell the viewers where to buy tickets.
Absolutely.
It's Saturday.
Yeah, so it's this Saturday, and we do have a Gustazo's deal. It's limited in terms of the amount of 2-for-1 you can get, but you can still get 2-for-1 on Gustazo's. We're on xtickets.com. You can go to Jacana, Manor Park, or New Kingston to pick up tickets in person. You can also go to the live store, pick up tickets, and Janga's Soundbar.
Yeah.
All right, so
Janga's.
it's
That's my
Janga's,
place.
yeah, man.
That's Mariah's place.
Yeah, man.
It's public knowledge. Thanks. All right.
People go there looking for you now.
Yeah. No, when I walk in, they tell me welcome home.
There you go. There you go.
All right. Well, Kyle, Shaheen, thank you so much for stopping by on the
thanks for
SportsMax
having us.
Zone. Best of luck on Saturday and good luck in the event. And as I said, viewers, it's a vibe. Trust me. Take it from me because I've been in 2019 and you never know. I might just show up this Saturday. So don't miss it. Get your tickets now. I'm going to take a quick break and come right back.